What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bomarito Automotive Group. Bomarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Bomarito has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Bomarito team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show. For 50 years, Bankhead and Firth Orthodontics has been proudly serving the vibrant St. Louis community. As a family-owned and operated practice since day one, the commitment to excellence and personalized care runs deep. They believe in giving back to the wonderful people of St. Louis who have entrusted them with their smiles. Step into the 5 locations across St. Louis with modern offices equipped with the latest orthodontic technology. Their 3 amazing doctors are dedicated to providing top-notch, innovative treatments tailored just for you. Join us in celebrating 50 years with Bankhead and Firth Orthodontics, where your family becomes a part of theirs. Schedule your free consultation today and let them help you achieve the confident, gorgeous smile that you deserve. Because in St. Louis, your smile is your legacy.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune in to the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on? They'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
What's up, St. Louis? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host, Marissa Farrell.
And I am your other host, Luke Farrell.
And today we have 2 great guests today, and we've got Leslie and Val with STL Frizz Fest. So it's very exciting to have them in to talk about their 7th annual festival. So we're going to get into all things Frizz Fest in just a minute, but Luke's going to kick it off with any other announcements.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've been
sponsors?
growing the show, guys. We've been, putting episodes out each and every week. Like we mentioned, even off-air, consistency is key, and we wouldn't be able to keep doing this if you guys wouldn't keep listening. So, our show is growing, and our main mission is really just to highlight the people, places, and events that make St. Louis special. And we have 2 people in the studio today that have a little slice of St. Louis in September that's super special for the city. Last year, you guys had over
major event.
Last year, you guys had over 5,000 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say a big slice.
Yeah, big slice. Big slice.
Yeah,
Big
not a
slice.
little
No, that's
slice.
you're right.
Big slice.
You're right.
Big one,
No,
not the little one.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, before we get into you guys, I'm going to just read a little bit about what Frizz Fest is. Again, it is a big slice, so I'm sure a lot of people do know about it. But if you don't, Frizz Fest is a natural beauty festival created to fulfill the mission of Frizzy by Nature, to encourage self-love and inspire confidence among women, specifically Black women. Frizz Fest is ultimately a space where the Black community feels safe, seen, and celebrated.
Period.
Amen.
Period. And that's it. Yeah. So why don't you guys talk to us a little bit about, 7 years ago, where this baby was born. How did this come about?
Yeah, this is my baby because I don't have any kids. But so we're really been in the game as an organization for 8 years due to COVID. It's just why we're at the 7th year for Frizz Fest. So really came about, and my apologies, I've told this story many times, and I don't want anybody to get tired of it, but so I moved back to St. Louis. I had moved away to California for a while, living my best life, what I thought, and then moved back to St. Louis after just a trajectory of a lot of different losses in my family, women, the most important women in my life, which was 2 of my aunts, my grandmother, and my mom in a span of 3 years.
Wow.
So I believe I was out in LA for 3.5 years. Moved back to St. Louis, kind of in the same time was getting into the natural hair movement. I had recently went natural, cut off my relaxed hair prior to moving to LA. So still had that, something that I was interested in, but then also just finding myself in a space of just being lost, without purpose, everything, sadness, pain. I don't, just what am I supposed to do?
Grief,
Yes.
all of it.
So I moved back home to St. Louis. I moved back in with Valerie and Val and my brother, Ricky, who Yeah, who kind of like just took me in and supported me. Obviously, what family is for, that is a big part of who we are. And I just had an idea to do this event, to have a fun outdoor event, not expecting too much of it, just something kind of to lift my spirits, but also to bring in women who had experienced the same kind of issues, also with dealing with self-love issues, self-confidence issues, because with the loss of a mother, that ties into that as well, just
Yes, it
figuring out
does.
who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of a piece to bring women in St. Louis together. And it was a great success from the start, from the beginning. And what I was amazed by to now seeing how it's grown so much in 7 years, I'm like, wow, it just right off the bat was something that proved itself to be very needed and necessary and that we were missing here in St. Louis. So once we started, we couldn't stop. So.
Yeah. So has it always been in Tower Grove?
It's always been in Tower
Okay,
Grove. We love Tower
amazing.
Grove.
Yeah,
Tower
we're
Grove.
right across from there. That's
Yeah.
where we live. So
Yep.
that park is near and dear to
Yes.
us. And
Mm-hmm.
so wow, okay, so 7, almost 8 years.
Mm.
So what was last year,
Yes.
5,000.
Yes.
Okay, what was the first year? What did that look like?
600.
Wow, I mean
That's still really good.
for a
That's
That's
first
amazing.
top
Yeah.
off of a
To have
first
600
event.
people, and that was
Yeah.
back in what, 2015?
17.
2017.
17? Okay, I can
And I had
count.
just moved back.
It's all right.
Moved back to St. because I was
So
so
you-
I was even a little out of touch.
Yeah,
I
like you're
hadn't-
like a transplant back to your own
yeah.
home almost.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
So
goodness.
let's talk about that, how it's evolved, because, it started out, like you said, you didn't even know what to expect. You just wanted to get people outside, get people together that had like-minded interests. But now it's evolved into this insane event that everybody marks on their calendar at the beginning of the year. I feel like people have been talking about this Frizz Fest for all year. I mean, it's
Yeah.
until it happens and you guys can breathe a little bit and start planning next year.
Yeah.
So
Little
how is
break.
it involved, and like what are some of like the key what are some of the key milestones that you guys have hit that you could touch on with our listeners?
Every year we try to grow. So there's something that we implement every year that's new and exciting, and also keeping that like feel good vibe. Like you feel the family oriented feel to it. Like I always say, my daughters think that Frizz Fest is their backyard. They run freely, they have fun. So keeping those elements of family, sisterhood, that nurturing environment is like key to us. But also giving St. Louis like what we deserve, like special events, special feelings, making things big here. Like we deserve events like that. So every single year we've like amplified it, whether it was a bigger stage, a bigger youth zone. Last year was a national artist. We brought Maya.
More vendors.
More vendors.
Yeah.
We have so many vendors this
Yeah.
year. It's insane.
Every year we like, and we're constantly pouring into the community. So
Right. And that's the piece of the celebration aspect that you're talking about. So when you think about celebrating women of color and their hair, which always there's just this idea about it, right? Like for people who aren't actually experiencing that. So what does the celebration aspect look like when you envision it? Like what do you want women who are coming to the festival to get out of it to feel?
Yeah. And I wanted to, so that is also why we've sort of developed our mission statement to be safe, seen, and celebrated for just the community, Black, brown community as a whole, because yes, our main target and demographic are Black women, but also in addition, Black women need support from other people within the community. And what Val was saying is such a family like event where families come out, little kids come out, men come out, and each year we try and encourage that more and more because yes, we tailor a lot of our even events and resources that we offer to Black women. The event is for everyone, and I think that we deserve those spaces where no matter what color you are, what skin tone of a Blackness you are, however you wear your hair, while we are a natural beauty festival, we are not a natural hair festival. And I think we get that a lot. Like, can I come if my hair is, if I'm bald? Or can I come if I wear a weave? Or yes, like that is not what it's about. Like in our mission, like it's obvious that we are not trying to keep anybody from this feeling of love and support. So I think it's just as Black women, Black people, there are just so many spaces, whether it's work or school or going to the store and being looked at, different. I think there's so many spaces where we are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even in the media, how we're highlighted. So a space where you don't have to worry about any of that, no matter who is there, whether there's white people that come or whatever any other races or faces come, that everybody in that space knows that everyone is accepted, and however we look or dress in that moment is beautiful. And I think that is where the celebration piece comes from.
Like whatever makes you feel good, this is your space.
And we put that shit on for Frizz Fest.
I'm looking at your recap from last year right now. It's all the flowers.
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy.
We understand the assignment at Frizz Fest.
And this year is a 70s theme, and people are like,
that's gonna be amazing.
People are like eating it up.
Well, like I feel like that's like very much the vibe. Like that's very trendy right now.
Even your guys' website gives 70s, the colors, like
we
the colors,
kind of already
the
had
flowers.
that feeling. Like we've gotten called the Coachella of St. Louis. So I don't know. That kind of goes.
Right. I think when you talk about like the branding, like just how deliberate we are with that, like I know a lot of that stuff is like outwardly, but it also impacts the inside. And so showing up and like feeling good and feeling joyful, like it really reflects on the outside.
And I like that you said natural beauty instead of like you said, just hair. So celebrating all types of people and all types of different beauty. And then the youth zone, super important too, being able to get kids out.
So let's talk about that, because you keep touching on family coming out too, like not just women, men, families, all people, all walks of life. So what could a family get out of going to the festival in terms of what if, we want to bring, our daughter is 6 months old, but,
I mean, we have babies in strollers to, 18. But first, we mentioned the vendor market. We believe by far we have the best vendor market.
All right.
We just do as an organization, too, we do a lot to support the vendors, because we do believe in Black businesses thriving and getting resources that are not necessarily provided or just equal opportunity for them. So you can shop. You can find new businesses that you've never seen, heard, or had the opportunity to shop with. We have so many amazing crafters in that space, from jewelry to clothing to coloring books to art to bath and body care and hair care and candles, makeup. I can go on and on, but just these unique businesses. So we often say that the vendor market is like the highlight of the festival for some people. And I think that is what draws a lot of people. So vendors, we have merch, only over 60 vendors. Then you can eat. So don't eat before you come to Frizz Fest.
That's all the food trucks.
Because we have,
you'll be full.
Yes, you'll be full.
Okay.
In addition to expanding our vendor market, we've expanded our food vendor market. So we have about 15 food trucks. In addition, we have snack and drink vendors. We got the kids driving you crazy. We got a couple bars. There you go. You can get a drink.
Go get a drink real quick.
Nice.
You can get a drink. We have a couple Poor Decisions and Anita's Cafe and Bar, which are like super cool cocktail spots. So you need a drink, and then they need to run it off and go to the U Zone. We also partner with a lot of great organizations, the Little Bit Foundation, Girl Scouts.
What about Food City? Food City is coming through.
Food City?
Yes, Food City, yes.
We haven't announced this yet.
Okay, that's good.
You want to say that?
You can say
you want to drop
that.
that?
You go ahead.
We're going to do a farmer's market this year at Frizz Fest.
Yep.
And Food City is sponsoring that, so we're really excited for that. Just to get some fresh produce from Black farmers at Frizz Fest. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, we talked to Food City.
So what
recently.
we did.
We had them on the show.
We did have them. So, okay, the 21st, right?
Yep.
September 21st.
What is that, a Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. All
But you guys have the Sunday Fun Day too, don't you?
We do. We haven't
details
released.
pending.
That's the
details
VIP?
coming, but no, it's not VIP.
Okay.
We're just figuring it out.
So I'm looking at these pictures from last year, and I keep seeing this safe, seen, and celebrated.
Yes.
So in the simplest way, what does that mean to you, and how did you guys come up with that? Because obviously that took time to come up with such a nice, simple, but amazing and powerful tagline, safe, seen, and celebrated. So if you could summarize that for us and kind of tell us what that means to you.
You can take it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I think it's just what I said.
Saying it.
I think we just I think it's just what I like. You just are completely comfortable, and I think too, even any other event that we hold under Frizzy by Nature, you don't have to feel like you have to know anybody to be there, or you have to go with anybody to be there. We are all just. I think we set that precedent that look like. This is community and everybody is welcome. So come by yourself and you're gonna leave with a few friends. So I think it's just a welcoming environment where you get all the love and celebration and support that you need. So that's really.
So you've got a market.
Yep. Oh, okay. So food. So she mentioned Food City. So that's something we wanted to kind of start building as well in the space. Although we are a space, what I feel like is healing. I think healing and self-care and self-love looks a lot of different ways. So I believe Frizz Fest is that, but in addition to just additional health and wellness programming. So that's where the farmers market, comes in. We're just we need to eat better as a people, but in addition to support, take care of your body. But we'll have yoga again this year.
Okay.
We've had it a couple times.
You guys do that throughout the year too.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah. So now we're bringing, we're working with the Collective, which is an amazing organization.
I just met him.
Yes.
That's Dawn Harper Nelson, and then her husband, I think.
Terry,
Terry.
Yep. So they'll be doing yoga on the main stage at the start of Frizz Fest to get all of our Zen together. We have so many activations. Oh, the artist call is a big thing.
Oh, that's a fun one this year.
Okay.
So we did an artist. So last year we introduced these selfie walls that we worked with. We worked with so many different people. The Dream Builders for Equity organization. Big ups to Mike. We went to high school together. So we worked with them to build these wooden structures for us, and we as a team just decorated them ourselves. So there are these wooden big structures, and we call them selfie walls, and they were like a highlight because Frizz Fest is an Instagrammable moment. So people would just taking pictures in front of these selfie walls. Valeria Rodriguez did a mural one of this Safe Seen and Celebrated logo, so it was a big deal. So this year we decided to again involve St. Louis as much as possible. So we did an artist call for artists around St. Louis. And then, so basically, we had artists submit their art that kind of went with the theme of Frizz Fest or 70s vibe. So we gave them some kind of
That's fun.
things to work with.
That would be like such a
I can't wait to see these selfie walls this year. It's going to go crazy this year.
Now, so we're
just
working.
After seeing that first video you guys dropped the other day, I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. That video was so sick.
It was so much fun.
You guys need to get, not to get off track, but you guys need to get into, what is the bar? Why am I totally blanking?
I know.
Tim's Chrome Bar?
Tim's Chrome Bar. You
got to do a photo shoot.
I
drove by. Our office is right by the Grandel. Is that where you guys filmed that video?
Yep.
Because I drove by on the way to the office.
Right across the street.
And I'm like, our office is at the On God. And I was like, I was driving by and I'm like, what is going on there?
Was I there that
I don't know if we were in the car together, but I'm like, what's going on? I almost crashed because I was driving.
Yes, we did drive by.
And I thought I thought it was just for like a show at the Grandel, like the dark room or something. But I was like, all right, got something going on. But
we shot that in April.
That was a long time ago. That's what I remember. And then when I saw it come out, I'm like zooming in to see the background. I was like, yeah, that's the Grandel.
I think that was the day I brought you lunch. Remember?
Yeah. And I was like, you see what's going on over there? It looks freaking lit.
So now when anybody asks, what's Frizz Fest about? Just in the video.
Check it out and come slide through.
That's amazing. If you know Tecovas, you know that they make some of the best and most comfortable Western boots around. But what you might not know is that Tecovas has a store right here in St. Louis at Plaza Frontneck. Stop into their store and you'll find the finest handmade cowboy boots, jeans, belts, cowboy hats, and even apparel for both men and women. While you shop, enjoy complimentary drinks, boot shines, custom hat and boot branding, and more. Come visit the Tecovas store at Plaza Frontneck and let them help you find your new favorite pair of boots or your first pair of boots ever. Tecovas, don't go gently. So you guys are, a nonprofit, and there's always different things that you can do throughout the year. But if you could give people maybe look at your guys' long-term vision, because I'm sure you have bigger goals than just this event coming up, you know? So if you guys want to touch on some of the stuff that you guys have coming up, or maybe some of your bigger goals that you have for the foundation.
Yeah, so we like really got intentional this year and some of last year with just programming and events throughout the year. We will have Frizzmas coming up in December.
Is that new?
It's not new. So we did it 2 years ago, and then last year we did it as a cocktail series. This year we're bringing it back with Santa Claus, but I forgot we just dropped one today. So we're trying to do events all throughout the year to continue that Safe Scene Celebrated mission, because it's just important for us to feel comfortable at the places we, choose to go to. But yeah, we're doing a riverboat cruise at the end of this month.
I was going to bring that up.
Yes.
Yeah,
so we're kind of trying to do something each month, just like different like variations of events. And they don't always have to be like huge events, like just something so you feel like welcomed in your city.
To bring people together. Yeah.
So then Frizzmas, that's in partnership with Cortex.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think too, like just building partnerships is so important to us, because as a nonprofit, we always need resources. We always need, and so when we have partners that are in alignment that can also share their resources with us, and that's a win-win. And then we've also, I mentioned vendors, how they're really important to us. So we did something new this year where we had an in-person vendor training.
Okay.
And so that is because we want to support our entrepreneurs, not just at Frizz Fest, but beyond.
Ongoing, yeah.
So we had a training, just talked about different like marketing, how to build a website, customer acquisition.
Wow.
So
that was in partnership with Cortex too, and then Square got involved, and a couple of our vendors got involved.
Wonderful.
With that too.
Wow.
So is the
amazing,
application for vendors, is that closed? Okay.
Yeah, we do that.
I'm like,
closed,
as
y'all.
you're talking, I'm like thinking about
we get that early.
We had Brown Skin Bride. Have you heard of that?
I actually started following
I'm
them.
like, they would be a really cool
Yeah.
vendor to have too, but next time. Or for
Yeah,
something else, whatever.
Yeah, and then of course as we start hyping up Frizz Fest, even we get the vendor like
Of course.
questions
They come
all the time.
The
but
DMs come in.
Yeah, we knocked it because we have to map the space
Of
too, like
course.
so we get that
In
out
advance.
early. But I think with Frizz Fest, like we are obviously a St. Louis, event. We love St. Louis, and we are always going to put on as much as we can for St. Louis, but we want Frizz Fest to be the hub for the Midwest for this type of event, because St. Louis deserves the travel from other like surrounding cities to see.
Do you ever get stories of people coming
Yes,
from
we
out of
do.
town? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Folks from Dallas.
New
We have
York.
vendors from Chicago.
Wow. And they come here, they're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yes.
They're just in the beautiful Tower
And just
Grove
right in
Park.
Tower Grove Park.
Just right in
I mean,
Tower
that's
Grove Park,
so cool. That's
So
amazing.
St. Louis deserve, like, we created this event because St. Louis deserves these like very quality, highly activated, positive, cool events. But also St. Louis deserves, the travel from other cities to come and experience us and all the beauty that we have to offer. No matter what you may see in the news or the media, we have great things here. And then also we want other people to experience our vendors and our entrepreneurs and spend their money with
right
us.
here in-house.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to say, and I think that's why our partnerships are so important too, because it's a way like to help people feel safe, seen, and celebrated when we're not even around, right? So when folks come and visit St. Louis, or people in St. Louis visit other places in St. Louis, we know that the places that we touch are like safe for them. So
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I think that mission, something to look forward to, is like through the years is like 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people on a weekend. And you become like this, festival that people know all over. Like people go to Coachella, they know that. Essence Fest and New Orleans and stuff like that. Like obviously those are reachable goals. I mean, obviously it takes hard work, and it takes time, but you guys have been putting in the work, and that's why we go back to consistency. And I'm inspired by you guys that you just keep going and keep going and keep going, because I know
saw a need.
Yeah.
You saw a need too.
for sure.
Like it's I mean, not to talk about Brown Skin Bride again, but it's like there's an underappreciated
Exactly.
market right here. So you're just putting it on the map, and again, like bringing people from other cities here, like in a positive way, to celebrate a culture that is just underrepresented. I can't think. I'm like, you know what I'm
You
trying
had
to
it.
say.
You got it.
Yeah.
So I wanna hear. Walk me through that energy of a day at Frizz Fest. You wake up.
What are the hours?
So
It
you
starts
wake up.
at-
For us or for the guests?
Well, for
You're a guest.
Okay,
coming
okay.
in.
yeah, not for you. We don't need to hear your hours because people might call.
We appreciate you.
But like for the people that are listening, I always like ask our guests, like, what's your ideal day? Walk us through that. You wake up, you pull up. What time am I getting there? Like, what's the
Yoga,
best? Like,
all
what
of
do they
it.
need to do? Like, that's the ideal way?
Hang out all day. Bring a blanket. Dress up. Get dressed. So it starts at 12. I would get there for yoga, but I'd be cute. I'd be in my 70s attire.
Matching set.
Exactly. Like, why not? I would get there all day. If you aren't there all day, just come in the early stages, leave out, come back. So arrive at 12. It's over at 7. So we have 7 hours to entertain you, and we pack the schedule.
Yeah.
So whether you're sitting under the tree the whole time, just vibing out to the music, we have St. Louis-based artists that set the stage on fire. We have bigger artists too that come. Not bigger artists. We have national artists too that you might see somebody.
You might hear
You
something
might
later.
hear. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How soon might we hear?
We might hear soon.
In a couple weeks or so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leslie talked about the vendor market. You could shop all day there.
Yeah.
My daughters get Leslie every time.
Oh,
They go get her card.
I get cash too, just in case.
And cash. And these vendors just take, my daughters are 8 and 6 now. They just take this card from her, buy a nail polish.
They run it up.
They
And
run
I'm
it
like,
up.
wow.
So come and run it up at Frizz Fest, y'all.
Yeah.
We have amazing vendors.
St. Louis loves a vendor market too. We
Love
love getting out to
it.
shop.
But we don't have like good mall. No offense.
I
Yeah.
know.
The mall is nowhere to shop anymore. Like that's
Well,
the way to go.
They're all closing. We'll say they're all closing anyway. So and it just feels better to spend your money with someone who's working and busting their ass
100%.
to put it on for the city, as opposed to like
100%.
a store that
Yeah.
is across the
Yeah.
country. You know, just.
And we didn't mention we have a hair show, which has become a
yes.
big highlight.
Okay,
So this
what's
is the
that
third
like?
year. So this is with Tendai of Healthy Hair Solutions. And she runs the whole thing. Thank you. We love partners like her because it takes something else off our plate. And she's an expert. She also has her own hair product line for all, curly hair textures. So that is models and cool fashions with very cool hairstyles.
Okay.
So they have hair pieces. So this year's a 70s theme. So I don't even know. We just fully trust her.
Yeah.
So she brings the vision to life. So that is a big highlight of the performance piece. And like Val said, we have a great local, not local, St. Louis talent. Because, we have grand talent. They can be, do it big
So that's
anywhere
music
they go.
all day.
All day.
DJs.
All
I know
day.
We got
DJ
DJ
Nico.
Nico.
He's going to be there again. I
She's
saw
been day
that.
one DJ.
Just about, yeah.
That's amazing.
Day one DJ.
Who else? What other, local artists? So you got Square's the presenting sponsors. That's
Yes.
great to get a local company like that.
Yes.
Payment processor. I'm sure a lot of the vendors
so
are going to
they
use
help-
Square.
Yep, so they help with the vendors. So our St. Louis talent, this is up on the site. I haven't posted on social media, so this is fine. So T Parks is our host. So we love T Parks. She hosted in like 2018, and we brought her back last year.
She's got good energy.
Oh my
Big
God, she
energy.
goes. And she also wrote and performed the song
Yes.
Frizzy Baby. So she, on her own, she decided to
Just make
create
it for
that.
you.
Yes.
And then you guys heard it and you're like,
Yeah.
Like, what? Yes. And then, so we have Alexia Simone performing, BB performing, Galladay performing, Co-Red Dance Team performing, and the hair show and the collective with yoga.
I just saw the Code Red show, the dance show. They go crazy.
I know. I was so.
They're
I've been trying to
nuts.
get him.
I think they were
fun.
down
Forever.
at the
Glendale,
City
I
Block
think.
Party too.
Yeah, they were at the City Block Party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I saw Anita's bar too.
Yeah.
Like that
we
super
love
green.
Anita.
That looked. You saw that. You're like, yo,
We
you're
love
coming.
Anita.
Well, we go there.
We go there all the time.
So
I
we
do
had
too.
our
One of your spots.
We had our Frizz cocktail hour
Yes.
at Anita.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yep. I've definitely. Yeah, she has a really cute spot over there.
Yeah, she does.
So I want to ask you guys a question about mental health in the space, and let's gear it up a little bit towards the younger generation, because we have the internet now and everybody's looking on Instagram and TikTok, and we're almost 30, we're 28, but we grew up with social, but it wasn't the same as what it is now.
Well, we just had this conversation the other day of like, we are really the last generation and that like grew up without it. Like we had an imagination and just played outside, and like what we looked at was like around us or like in a magazine if you looked at magazines, but it wasn't in your face constantly of like, this is what the beauty standard is.
So with our new segment, we partnered up with Birch Tree Recovery. This is our mental health minute. So if you could give some advice to, let's just gear it up to some young girls, young women on how to self-love, and what advice you guys would have from your personal experiences.
I would say let's start with coming to Frizz Fest, right? Like we talk about social media and we know how like big and impactful that is, but Frizz Fest is a very real place where you can see firsthand people being natural in their element, like showing up as themselves, and like those real representations are more tangible than what you see on social media. So, and that's why it's so important for us to do stuff throughout the year too, because we understand how impactful of a resource that we're providing, and we need that for ourselves. I would add with the social media, and this is for like the young girls and parents too, like to help like limit that as much as possible, because we're in the generation too where we're a little bit older than y'all, but like we had where we didn't have social media at first, right? And then like when we got into those imperative ages, still no social media, and then like toward the end of them is when those came out. That came out. And so I do think as real social media is, you can limit it, right? Like I think parents should be like in control of that, and as much as possible, like try to like protect your children from those spaces. So yeah, that would be one of my. Social media is real. Like kids definitely are impacted by it, but it's okay to step back. Like I have to take breaks from social media because it's
I'm
just
on
not
one
all
right now.
Yeah, like it's not always the
phone.
healthiest space, and like I think it's important for people to hear that. Like it's important to hear like go outside. Like for young girls and women our ages, like go outside.
And I think yes, go outside. And I think a lot of that too. There is not as much to do as we had when we were younger, like for kids. And there are organizations that we actually helped with one recently, like events for the youth, like for them to be able to just get outside and have something else to do besides social media. I think that's part of the problem too. We're limited in that way. So I think like what we try and do, in our very, small way of trying to enlighten the world. But we have like Frizz Fest U, where we've gone onto college campuses and have Frizz Fest on college campuses as a way to reach a younger generation. So I think it's just as a community, working together more to create spaces that the youth can be more involved in, so they have something to do where they just aren't sitting at home having to scroll social media because they have limited access to fun and free fun. So we have to keep that in mind too. Like stuff is high.
And what I love about what you guys are doing is also the community aspect, like with what we're talking about, like with the younger generation. Like I think there's just like this feeling of seclusion and like just sitting on your phone. It's like get out and like connect with people who can relate to you in a way. Like you were talking about even earlier when we started, like you starting to go natural, and I'm like, how many younger women are struggling with like just connecting with people who are on the same path as you are.
And I think it's very important to be, and I learned this later in life, and this is what happened with Frizz Fest, and I think that is what contributed a lot to the success of just being vulnerable. Like we hold a lot of stuff in. And when I told my story about just what I was going through with my mom's passing, just so many people reached out to me just based on that alone. And I think young girls, young kids are dealing with so much, and they don't have anybody to talk to, or they feel unsafe like speaking out or saying something. So I think just creating spaces for vulnerability and safeness where, we can talk about the issues that most of us are experiencing, all at once. So I think this is like amazing that you even have this segment on the podcast, because this is just another way of us being open about issues that we all go through.
Yeah.
So
we're a huge advocate for it. Mental health, I just think it's overlooked a lot, I think. And I just think it is nice to just have a minute and talk about it. So thank you both for sharing some insight to the questions there.
But it is the STL Bucket List show. So I appreciate y'all for sharing. But STL Bucket List, I'm going to give you guys a quick backstory on how we started this. So in 2019, we're originally from St. Charles. We moved to South City about 2019. So we live in South City currently. And when we got to South City, you know, we didn't feel like there was anything online that was like gearing towards a young couple of like where we should go in St. Louis. We went to like the websites and it's like, go to the zoo, go to the Arch, go to the Cardinals game, go to this. And it's like, that's cool. But like, what's the best nightclub? What's the best bars? What's the best restaurant?
Anita's? Like,
where's the best, like, you know, minority owned businesses, women owned businesses, black owned businesses, you know, unique foods that you can't get. So we went to Chicago, and like Chicago has all these Instagram pages like, oh, look at this place, look at this place. So then we came back to St. Louis, we made the page, we were anonymous, and we would just highlight where we went. We would be like, we would take the worst pictures with the Instagram filter. You know, remember everyone back in like when it had they looked like shit, and we were just like, but then now we're like making professional videos, drones, flying reels, like spending thousands of dollars
doing
on
it up now.
cameras and stuff. But that's kind of our story of like how we started it. But we started it by supporting local and highlighting all these amazing businesses, exactly what you guys are doing with your festival. But I want to hear about some of your guys' bucket list spots. So, Leslie, we can start with you, unless you want time.
You got yours?
I got one.
All right, Val.
We can go back.
I got a good one. I'm glad I went first.
What's a bucket list spot?
I'm gonna plug my man. So,
as you should.
My husband Ricky has STL Run Crew. Yeah. They meet on Sunday and Tuesday. You could walk, run. Ricky likes to say crawl. You can be of any like ability, just any walk of life. Come out on Sunday. They typically meet at Keener Plaza downtown. On Tuesdays, they meet at Field Club Media on Cherokee Street, and they run or walk through Benton Park. I just think those places are really important because they are, like, when you talk about mental health and, like, really just, like, breaking the mold in how we connect with each other, STL Run Crew is one of those disruptors that make a difference in our city. And so I say that proudly just because it's my man. And it's just such a fun place, a fun time. And you don't even have to think. You literally just come. Like,
get
you don't
outside.
No pressure.
No
you don't have
pressure.
To be fast,
like, and everybody's just like so kind. So I want to say that first. And on a date night tip, I know we talked about it. Are you gonna talk about Anita?
Go ahead.
Okay, we love Anita. Like, Anita is one of those places where you just like walked inside and she was like so cool. I had never met Anita before. Yeah. We just randomly went there. Leslie had heard about it, and we went there for coffee one day for a meeting. And she's like, can I make this for y'all? We like, yeah. She is a flavorist. She knows how to put food and drinks
healthy
together.
Food too.
Yes. So
she did the same thing for me. She's like, can I make you this? We're working on a new menu.
Yes.
I'm like, yep, send it out.
She's like, do you eat this? I'm like, I'll eat whatever you put in front of me.
Yeah, like whatever creatively you want to throw at me, let's do it.
And I'm obsessed with coffee, and hands down the best coffee I've ever had.
Is it? Okay,
oh,
that says a lot. If you're a big coffee girl, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
And she does some crazy stuff with cocktails over there too.
Yeah,
cocktails are fire.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a big up the Dark Room and Alonzo Townsend.
Yeah.
I think he does a great job. He brings a new energy to the music scene of St. Louis, and he does a great job on highlighting artists that don't always make the same, stages, or don't constantly get called, or maybe they do, or even if they do, but I think he's done a great way of highlighting artists and talent in St. Louis, and then offering that space and really curating it in a way where we're exposed to like newness and cool, the cool talent.
We saw Miley there, and it was like 35, 40 people. We
Yeah.
sat at the bar, we got food, and you got to like just see her right
and
up there.
everyone was just cool. Like,
we got to see
Alonzo's
the
been crushing.
Lunatics on his birthday.
Really?
Murphy Lee and Kiwan.
At the Dark Room?
I was in heaven.
Oh my God.
I was St. Louis
Alonzo
all day.
grinds
St.
too.
Louis.
Like, he's putting on shows every weekend,
Yeah,
3 times
so-
a weekend at the City Winery too.
So Alonzo is our artist man. So he does all of our artist stuff for Frizz Fest. So he's part of the team.
Nice.
So yes, we love him. That's where I saw Alexia Simone. I'm like, yep, she got to be at Frizz Fest.
there you go.
So I want to big up that the Dark Room, and.
What's a
Okay,
date night
after
spot?
Frizz Fest is over and you're like, let's go out and celebrate,
Yes.
where are you going? Even if it's like takeout to just sit at home and chill.
Okay.
Like what how are you gonna celebrate?
Okay, I'm a big up Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
I love Sweetheart.
Right.
They are literally I can
you
walk
vegan?
there. I'm pescatarian now, but I was
Okay.
vegan for a few years.
Okay.
You just talked about that.
Yep.
Yeah. What's your go-to there? The chicken sandwich or
Oh man,
the brownies are fire.
the brownies are
vegan
fire.
brownies.
Became obsessed with the chicken sandwiches, probably like too much. So I started with the hot one, and then now I just do the normal.
Yeah.
But they have this Toni Morrison bowl that I'm hooked on now.
Ooh.
Okay, I never
So
had it. Yeah.
Sweet Art, shout out to Sweet Art. We had Maya last year
Mm-hmm.
for Frizz Fest, and she is vegan,
Mm-hmm.
and so Sweet Art actually sponsored the meal for Maya and her team. So
Wow.
Amazing.
that's partnership. That's what I mean with partnership and community.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and their drinks are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just do some awesome things with vegan food. So Sweet Art.
That's amazing.
That's how I celebrate. I don't really go out.
Any other places? I
Oh
don't know.
yeah.
What's you and Ricky's date night?
Oh, STL Run Crew lately.
Yeah, that's right. You haven't been on a date lately. You've been running.
We've been running.
Literally.
Oh, I cannot, off the top of my head, think of a date night place. I was gonna say Bee Juice though. That's not for date night, but you could
Over in Ferguson.
Yeah, over in Ferguson.
Yeah.
Love Bee Juice.
Yeah.
Love
Smoothie
it.
bowls
Yeah.
and juice, fresh
Yeah.
cold pressed juice.
Is that
Yes.
Maggie's spot?
Yeah, Maggie.
Yeah.
She went there on the
Yeah.
grand
The
opening.
juices are-
Yeah.
Bee Juice actually, I
The
think,
best.
sponsors some for Maya too.
Yes,
so.
and then even for yoga, we're giving out 40 free wellness shots from Bee Juice.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow. I love the wellness shots with the
Yeah,
ginger.
I need a one on my
That's
date night list though.
Wow,
I'll tell Ricky.
You and Ricky
I'll
got to
tell
go on a
Ricky.
date.
Step it
We're
up,
calling
step it
him out on the podcast. If he's listening this far,
Ricky.
if he doesn't hear this, then he's not listening long enough because he would have turned the podcast
He might
off
turn it
already.
off after I like.
Because this is
shouted him
longer than
out.
his normal run.
He's like, all right, I got my, I
this
got
is
my
like
love. She
minute
showed me
four.
some love. I'm good.
But no,
That was good, babe. It was good.
Yeah, you're like, did I say anything? in there?
No,
That's how I
kidding.
do.
I'm just kidding. Let me clear that up. My husband's really sweet.
I'd be
He plans
scared.
great date nights.
Yeah.
No, it's good though, because it's like we're even going through that now, where we're like, man, we haven't been on a date night because we're in the
Yeah.
trenches right now with the baby, and
Yes.
She goes to sleep. I go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and that's the end of the day.
yeah, that's a wrap.
So.
And when she naps,
Yeah.
and when it's just that it is. It's what it is. But I appreciate you guys for taking the time to come on. I think it's important to, highlight this event. And I want to spread the word. When you guys announce the artist, I definitely want to put that flyer out there as well. I know that that's coming. But beyond even just the artists, it's just the community that you guys are building and the people that are coming. So hopefully you see some new faces this year. So there's going to be 5,000 people that were there from last year are going to come back. And then we just need a couple
We
more.
just need 5,000 more.
5,000 more.
5,000 more, is that the
Just
goal?
Everyone
Yeah,
bring
okay.
a friend.
Easy.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
just bring a
math.
friend.
It's easy. But just to wrap up, how can people support? Because I know people, if they can't make it to the event, they can donate.
Yep.
What's your website, social media handles, and everything like that?
Yep.
Go ahead.
I also want to say that the event is free.
Yes.
So it is
Yes,
entirely
I can't believe we
accessible
didn't
to
touch on that.
Yeah, it's free. So anybody, there's no excuse.
There
okay?
is no excuse.
Okay, so you can find us at frizzybynature.com. That is our site. We are Frizz Fest on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, and I just started a TikTok. I have no idea what I'm doing.
None of us do.
Yeah,
It's
I'm running all the
hard.
social media. I'm not a social media person at all, but
TikTok
those
is another
yes. We are Frizz Fest on everything. There's a donation button at the top of our website for you all to donate. Also, there's a donation option on the Eventbrite for Frizz Fest.
Yep. And if you want to sponsor, hit us up.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
we
you
will-
are still accepting
So we're not
sponsors?
accepting vendors, but sponsors.
Yeah, come through.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
through.
amazing. Yeah, I saw you guys have a really great lineup of sponsors. It's a great
Yeah.
event to be a part of. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
thank
and we will
you.
see
Thank y'all for
This
the
is
time.
September
great.
21st.
September 21st.
That's my birthday.
Tower
almost.
Grove,
My
guys.
birthday's the
Do you
25th.
remember?
Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, do you
That's
remember?
the opening
Let's
song.
go. That's going to be playing that night. 'Cause it's the
yeah.
70s
Yeah.
thing. I don't even know what year that is from.
It was
It
in
sounds
the
like
seven-
oh, it
yes,
is?
yes,
yes.
Okay,
70s.
okay.
You got it.
All right, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.